Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, I have here the Simon Says Stamp card kit of the month. This is for November 2023. It's called Cozy Autumn Hugs. Of course, yours will be coming in the package in a box, but I just took mine out to save a little bit of time. We're going to go over what's in the kit and then create some card projects using it. We're just going to go over it really quickly. You get a 2-piece stencil set. This is called Autumn Frame. It creates the beautiful frame here. One you can color in the leaves, the second one colors in the veins. So I love layering stencils. You get some pattern papers. These are trimmed down to 4x6 inch sizes. The nice thing about these pattern papers is there's some gold accent or detail on some of the papers. These are from American Crafts. And they basically trimmed, I would say that a 6x8 inch sheet in half for us. So these are like perfect card panel sizes. And I love that there's cut aparts and there's also tags and borders. Lots of pattern papers. We get a die set, an entire die set. And there's 3 dies in here. Let's take a look. They're actually tag dies. These are actually scaled to size. So if you look at the front of the envelope, it tells you exactly the size of the tags. These are called label tags. And there's 3 of them in here. You also get a cut and emboss folder. This one here is called the Moon and Pines. And what this does is it embosses and then also cuts. So it'll cut out a moon here or a little window. It'd be great for a little shaker card. So you get a cut and emboss folder. Next you get this is called the Simon Says Stamp Positively Perfect Craft Pad. This is like a foam pad. I imagine this would be great for stamping on. Or we also get a place and pierce wand. This has been working out really well for me. I really like these. One end you can place sequins or embellishments, and then this one you can pierce. And I imagine you could do some piercing on this mat too. So, nice little handy mat. What you can also do too is curl up flower petals on this using a stylus. So this is a really handy mat. Okay. And of course you get your place and pierce embellishment wand. You will love that. Our stamp set this month is named after the kit, Cozy Autumn Hugs. And you get beautiful fall leaves. And I'm thinking maybe that they will coordinate with the stencil. And it looks like you can. Let me double check this really quick. I don't want to tell you something that's wrong. But it looks like this leaf lines up beautifully with the stencil. And nice thing about the stamp set is there's a coordinating die set. So you have the stencil. If there's a coordinating die set, you can die cut out of this also. So that makes it really, really nice. So that's our stamp set. We get an embossing folder. This is a Wistful Leaves embossing folder. This is what it looks like. It's just beautiful. We get that. We also get some cardstock. We get burnt orange. This is an 8.5x11 sheet. We also get soft navy. And then we get a piece of Nina. All of these are 100 pound, except for the Nina. This is 110 pound weight cardstock. And then, of course, you get a sweet treat in your kit, and that is everything in the kit. I'm going to put this off to the side, and we're going to jump in and create some cards. We're going to start off by doing our stamping first, and I went ahead and picked out some ink colors. These are all Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated Mini ink cubes, and I picked the colors as close as I could get that coordinated with this pattern paper. I thought that I did a little swatching here. I think those were some good colors that would coordinate pretty well with this pattern papers. So starting off with this leaf, we're going to ink up with melon, and I'm going to stamp a couple times. For the leaves, it's better to have more than less. And my leaf is, I'm saving some room here on the bottom for the stem of the leaf. I'll stamp it 2 times, maybe 3 times. Okay, I'll clean this off. Just gonna bring this in here. And then we're gonna go for our next sleeve. For our next sleeve, we're gonna go with 1A. We'll go ahead and add this. And I'm going to use my fawn ink for this one. Our next leaf will be this big one. This one is G. I think we can fit it in here. And for this leaf we will use blush. I'll flip my panel over and then we will stamp this leaf one more time here. Now I'm gonna use an acrylic block to stamp the stems of our leaves. So we'll start with our G, and I'm gonna use my charcoal ink for that. And I think it should be pretty easy to line up. How pretty is that? I think that's gorgeous. And we'll do the same over here. We'll take our next leaf, and for all the veins of the leaves, I'm just going to use my charcoal ink, and I'm just going to hand stamp them. Looks like they're really easy to line up, so I'll just continue on with the rest of my leaves. And all of our leaves are done. Now while I'm at it, I'm pretty sure that Simon will have dies that coordinate with this stamp set, and I'll link them down below. And then there's one more leaf in here, but it's a small one and I'm not going to use that. But I am going to stamp some greetings. So I'm going to bring in my stamping positioner, and we'll stamp our greetings here. I'm going to stamp hello. I'm going to stamp just a few. Okay, I have hello, cozy hugs, autumn greetings, thankful for you, and thinking of you. We're going to go ahead and stamp this with black ink. I'm going to use my intense black ink for these. So we have a few sentiments. Okay, I'm going to fussy cut each one of my leaves out and also my greetings, and then I will be right back. Now what we're going to do is do a little paper piercing. Since we have the place and pierce, I have a panel of our burnt orange cardstock. This was in the kit. I created a panel that was 3 3/4 inches squared. Okay, what I'm going to do is take a ruler. I'm going to line it up about 1/8 of an inch from the edge here. And then every 1/4 inch, I'm going to poke a hole. I think we can go every 1/4 inch, yeah. Then Okay, and then we have some evenly spaced. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'm going to use my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim a little bit off the edges here. Okay, so our pierced panel is all done, and I think the reverse side is pretty cool looking too. So that's all good to go. For today's cards, all 4 of them, we're going to create a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 inch note card. I thought since our pattern papers, some of the pattern papers in our set were images or horizontal, I guess you could say. They fit perfectly on a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 note card. So I thought we'd do that today, something a little bit different. So what we're going to start doing, I'm going to take my panel, I'm going to add some adhesive behind here. We're going to tack this down on our card base. And then I have some pattern papers. We're kind of going with a color theme. I have the orange, and then I have, this is like a woven pattern. Let me find a bigger piece. This pattern paper, I trimmed this down to a little bit over a 1/2 inch strip. Basically, it's just one of these squares. Let me show you. Okay, one row of the squares. And then I have, this is a 1 inch strip. Okay, I'm going to first take this panel, I'm going to adhere this to my card base. This is going to go right in the middle. And then I have these 2 strips. I do want to stamp friend on here, but I want to place my pattern papers. Okay, and then we're going to use some white embossing powder. I'm going to melt this here with my heat gun. I'm going to buff away that my powder here. And then I have 3 of the leaves. What we're going to do is add some foam tape behind here, and I'm going to fishtail this end here. Okay, and then I'm going to put some foam tape behind all of my leaves and my greeting. I think that looks really nice. Okay, for finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some Simon Says Stamp Moonshine Sequins. I'm going to keep this kind of neutral because a lot going on with the pattern papers. And we're just going to add some sequins using our Place and Pierce. It works lovely for these. And then while I'm at it, we're going to add some sparkle. I'm going to use my Spectrum Noir sparkle pen. Let me grab some scratch paper here. I'm going to add a little sparkle over the inked areas of the leaves, just on the edges maybe. And that finishes my first note card. Okay, for my next card, I have 3 strips of the same pattern paper. These are a 1 1/4 inch tall, and then this one is 3/4 inches tall. What we're going to do is adhere these on the bottom of our card base, just using the tape runner. I'm going to go directly on the front of my card base. This one was 2 squares, you can see here. And then we have our print. And we will add this. I'm going to trim away what's overhanging. And then I have a real thin strip of our burnt orange cardstock. I'm going to add it to the very top, just using my tape runner. And I cut out a tag with our label tags, and then I embossed it. I did the largest one, and then I embossed it with our embossing folder. I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to add an eyelet to the top of it, and then we're going to thread some white twine through our tag. So we have an orange eyelet in here, and I am going to go in with a little bit of ink here. And I'm going to go over the upper portion of the tag and kind of fade down. And then I'm going to go in with my, let's see, we'll go with sherbet on the bottom. And then I'll take some twine, and then I'm going to thread my tag. I put foam tape behind my leaves, and we're going to arrange them on our tag. Our leaves, I'm going to scoot them over a little bit and have them overhanging off of the tag. And then I'll add my greeting here. And I'm actually going to bring in the berries too for this one. So we'll add a foam square behind here and some adhesive at the bottom. And we're going to tuck the berries in there. I think that looks really pretty. Okay, let's bring in some of those moonshine sequins. We'll just add a couple. Some sequins on there, and I love the way that looks, but my bow's getting drowned out. You can't even see it's there. So I went through my twine and I found a color that's pretty, actually close to the blush, and I think that's going to work better. So we're just going to undo this, and we're going to replace this bow, and I'm liking this a lot better. You can tell me in the comments if you like the white bow or this one better. Okay, and that will finish off card number 2. Okay, for my next card, I trimmed down a panel of this beautiful pattern paper. This is a 3 3/4 inch square, and what we're going to do is adhere this to the front of our card base using our tape runner. And then I have a 2 3/4 inch square of, this is our cardstock that came with the kit, burnt orange. I'm going to take this pattern paper and we're going to adhere it to the very bottom. Just trim away what's overhanging. And then I put the measurement here. What I'm going to do is erase it. I'm going to add my greeting in the very center. We have cozy hugs that I blocked off, and I'm going to put my greeting right above it. I think we have just enough room for the 2 smaller ones. I'm not going to add the bigger leaf. We'll use this for another card. But I am going to bring back some of that white twine. I'm going to double it up and then tie a bow with it. I put a glue dot just behind the knot here, and then I'm going to add this at the base of this leaf. We're going to add a little sparkle to our leaves with the Spectrum Noir Sparkle pen, and then I'm going to add a few clear sequins also. And then that will finish that card. For my next card, we're using some more pattern papers. I have this polka dot pattern paper. This is a 4-inch square. We're going to adhere this to our note card. We'll just tack this down. We're going to adhere this pattern paper at a diagonal to this. And I do have a little overhanging. I'll trim away that. Okay, and then this is a 2.5-inch square. This is going to go right in the middle. Here, we're just kind of doing some layering for this card. I decided to stamp one of the bolder greetings for this card, so I stamped Incredibly Grateful. There's also a greeting in our stamp set that you can add to it. So, I love that you can add it for everything you do. But I'm not going to add it. I'm going to put this for everything you do on the inside of the card. So, I'm going to use some foam tape. And I'm going to add this to my card base. Now with my leftover leaves, I'm going to add some foam tape behind them, and then we are going to do a little tucking with it underneath our greeting. And we're going to open this up, and I'm going to take that for the rest of the greeting that you can add underneath this one. I'm going to add it to the very inside. And we have leftover pattern paper if you wanted to decorate the inside. I'm going to add a little sparkle with some more sequins. And then I thought we were kind of top heavy, so what we're going to do is take some twine and I'm going to tie a bow at the very bottom here. Maybe it'll balance it out just a little bit more. And I think that did the trick. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of shine to our leaves. And that finishes that card. So we're going to take a look at all 4 cards that we made today with the Simon Says Stamp November 2023 card kit. Such a fun card kit. And I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.